Hi, I'm Akshay Balwani. I'm a director at Crust Foods Pvt Limited. We are the master franchisee for Sbarro Pizza in India. Sbarro is a New York-based pizza chain. Started in 1956. Was actually originated by this Italian-American immigrant family, Carmela Sbarro, who first opened her Salumeria, is what it used to be called, like an Italian deli, but for people who were sort of shift workers in New York, sort of walking around on the streets and they wanted to quickly grab a slice. What we in India would, or what we in Bombay would call vada pav, was what she wanted essentially, and which was a slice of pizza for them. So she came up with this concept that I'm going to make these large 18-inch pizzas, cut them up into slices, and then sell them by the slice. And that eventually became what is today Sbarro Pizza. Globally known as a leader in Sbarro, in pizza by the slice as a segment, and the world's 6th largest pizza chain. We've been in India since 2012. It was actually my mother, Akshay Balwani, who brought the brand to India. She had this fondness for the brand from the time that she lived in New York. She was somebody who was very passionate about building something in India, and she brought the brand to India. She set it up her way. She actually did most of the hard work in the early 5 years, the first 5 years of the brand in India, from 2012 to 2017, and built it into a well-known name, at least in the Mumbai region, which is where we are centered. I joined the business in 2017. I was coming in with some experience in technology and education, and I wanted to kind of make my mark. Came in and have, in a way, led the brand since 2017, 2018 till now. So obviously the core of the product remains unchanged, because as an international brand, we have to follow a certain standards, and which is why we bring a brand to India. If you don't want to follow the standards, don't bring a brand to India. So, the dough sauce cheese is sort of the core of the brand, and I'm just going to hit a little bit on there. New York style pizza is what we specialize in, which is hand stretched dough, San Marzano style tomato sauce, and 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese. So that remains constant. And then everything around that is whatever the customer desires. So if the customers have a preference for something Indianized, we'll do that. So we have Makhani today, we have Peri-Peri, we have Mexicana, we have barbecue. And each of these products is made with an understanding that Indians today we want global products, we want global taste preferences, but we also want them to suit our palate. And so that is how we kind of make our menu. When we talk about what we did with the menu in India, is we tried to focus on creating unique flavors. Just because people like spice doesn't mean you give them two products that are both spicy. You give them products that are differently flavored. So you give them one which is maybe a Mexican spice and one which is maybe an Indian spice. Yes, we've localized the menu, but when you say local, we've made it for local tastes. It doesn't mean that the menu is only Indian. It means that it's a global menu, but for Indian palate. The core challenge that we end up having is, how do we create brand recognition and awareness for how we are different? Why should a customer choose us? Obviously, once a customer comes to you, it is your job to bring them back to you based on your quality and your service and the right pricing. But first is, how do you bring them to you, right? And you face that challenge not just in your early days as a brand in India. We are facing that even today as we enter new cities. Every new city we enter, we face the same challenge. So the challenges my mother faced in Mumbai are the same ones that I'm facing today in Baroda or in Bangalore or in Ahmedabad or in Pune, right? Is that you're trying to get customers to know you. What is New York pizza? Why are you different? Right? How do you pronounce a name? All of those things. And so that's what we have always struggled with, maybe from day one, and we will continue to. And as long as you become a household name, which of course the leaders in the market are today, we have a long way to go to become a household name in that way. Another critical challenge becomes whether we have the right technology and tools in place to actually drive the business forward. Because if you don't have the right tools, then you're technically, you don't even know where you're going wrong. And I think that's where Posist, that's where our own other tools that we are using, they all kind of came in handy for us to actually create that platform of products and tools to help drive the business forward, whether it is to know what your actual food cost is. Because there are a ton of brands today that still struggle with knowing what is the food cost at which they're operating. Do you know whether the offer redemptions, the marketing strategy that you're playing on, the campaigns that you're running, are they actually performing or not? Do you know whether all the material that is leaving your warehouse or your central kitchen is actually reaching your restaurant or not? And if not, what is the level of leakage in the system? Or if you're tracking even sales metrics and you're trying to see whether you are actually growing over last week, last year, same week, or last month, sequential, right? Like all of those figures are something where if you don't have the right system in place, you will struggle. And we did too. When I came into the business, we were using a legacy software, taking out DSR reports in these long slips and doing manual calculations at the end of the night. And one of the first things we tried to work on was bringing a modern application which had the right base. Of course, it's not that the software we got in 2017 is the one we're using today. The POS we're using today is like 100x better and maybe 100 times different. But that's only possible when you have the right background and the right tools in place. So, and I think once we did that, things have started to fall in place. We've been able to identify, reduce variances, identify specific stores where the threshold is over and above what we would allow for. Check on offer redemptions and make sure that campaigns are being equally executed everywhere. Or if we're giving out coupons, then we're ensuring that there is proper redemption of that. We have a loyalty program which is now integrated. We have, of course, aggregators whose orders are coming directly into the POS. All of these things are only possible when you have the right infrastructure and the right tools in place. The inventory is the heart, I would say, of any restaurant. If you are using pure billing and you're running inventory on Excel, you're actually, in my opinion, you're not doing it right. Because if you don't know what you used to make what, then there's three fundamental problems with that. One, you don't know your cost. So as a pure business, that's the first thing. If you don't know your cost, how do you know if you're making money or not? Two, you don't know if your staff is actually following your standard operating procedure and your recipes to create the product that you worked so hard on to make for the customer. And three, you don't know whether at the end of the day, how you are performing compared to how you were performing last week, last month, or last year. So to know, first you need to have data and then you need to be able to compare the data. And so that's why I think inventory has been very critical to our success. So aggregator integrations though were vital. That per se is the first thing that I think I would point out as like, wow, this has changed everything, because being able to, we had issues where an order would land at 10 a.m. in the restaurant and would not get punched in the POS until 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. And when you have that kind of lag, then you're fully dependent on the aggregator's reports to tell you which hour drove how much revenue for you, which you don't want to do. You want your own system to have the right data. Otherwise, your hourly reports are wrong. How do you project how much raw material do you need in a particular hour, a particular section of the day, whether it's breakfast, lunch, snack, or dinner? So integration not just reduced the error rate, which obviously it did, but more importantly, it also enabled us to have better tracking on our different sessions and being better tracking on whether we are delivering orders on time with the marked food ready or anything else. We've always been very focused on reporting, and I think both from the brand perspective, because the brand asks us for a lot of data as well, which if you don't have it, then you can't give it to them as well. So we've always been focused on it. And so I like that a lot of the reports, the Restroworks cockpit app has these percentages, and we use it as a dashboard to do that. So, in a people-driven business, it's very hard to always know whether it's pilferage or whether it is mismanagement. But the first thing you need to do is you need to know your variance number, and then you need to compare it to across all your units. First things first, right? If you want to expand, you have to have the right supply chain. I can open restaurants, I can send a construction team and make a restaurant, but if I don't have the right supply chain, then it's going to fail very quickly. Part of having the right supply chain is having the right vendors, but part of it is also having the right dispatch software that is calculating, that is helping you project how much you require in these markets, and then when you send something, does it get received there? Is there a leakage there? How much was short received? All of those things. So I think first is inventory. That is, I think, critical, where Restroworks will play a role in our success as we expand our markets. And then of course will be the marketing angle. The second part will be that marketing angle. And we're already speaking to Restroworks about improving the customer experience in terms of sending them notifications about their order being ready in our mall outlets and things like that, which is a way to ensure that people are not carrying either pagers or looking at tokens, and everybody has a phone and everybody can get an SMS or a WhatsApp communication. And so all of these things will uniquely differentiate our experiences from other brands, hopefully, and create a special Sbarro experience for them.